All right. Super 8, the sequel on Super 8.
All right.
You ready to do this? Okay, when it starts to shake, act really surprised, okay?
Got it.
Okay, all right. And action.
Whoa. Whoa. All right, welcome to You Gotta See This Movie, podcast of two guys who like to talk about movies as well as the deeper things that make these stories more than just a movie. If you're into that sort of thing, please like, subscribe, click that bell notification so you never miss an episode. And Jim, what is the movie that you gotta see?
The movie you've got to see is Super 8. During the summer of 1979, a group of friends witness a train crash and subsequent unexplained events in their small town. Dun, 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 dun.
All right, so this is a special movie. Do you know why it's a special movie?
Why?
Because it's the one and only movie you and I have ever seen in a theater together.
Oh, that's right.
On opening night.
I did think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was one of those movies that from the jump, when they announced it, first off, I think we were already J.J. Abrams fans.
Right.
Right? We just kind of like what he does. But from the trailer, it was like, that movie has sold me.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. When the trailer hit, it was like,
Yeah.
that movie's cool. It's going to be cool. It's going to be great. I can't wait till it comes out.
And we talked about it for months on end.
Mm-hmm.
What it could be, what it is. And they did a lot of like cryptic, gosh, what's that term? Where it's something marketing.
Cryptic marketing.
I don't know, but it was like, oh, like there's a website you can go to, and if you click on a certain area, you'll open up something else. But anyways, it had a lot of cool marketing with this film because there was still a lot of mystery as to far as like, what does it even mean? You know, and I think for not you, but a lot of people probably thought like, oh, the title Super 8 means something totally different.
Yeah, no, for me it was like I knew what they were talking
exactly
about.
what
You
it
saw the
was.
kids, you saw the camera equipment, it's Super 8. I know what it's all about. This is going to be great.
Right.
Yeah.
I can remember like, so there were two Alien movies that came out this year. This being one.
Okay.
This was the second one released. The other one was Battlefield Los Angeles. I can't remember. But it was an okay movie, but it was like an alien invasion in Los Angeles. But so I was excited to see that. But I remember going into that movie, Battle Los Angeles, thinking, I just wish this was Super 8. Like I wish I could see Super 8 now. So the hype behind this movie was really real.
Was there a lot of hype like in general, you know, from the public or just
I feel like there was.
Or just us? We were just hyped.
There was just a big mystery with this movie.
Because it's Spielberg for one thing, right?
Spielberg had his name attached to it.
Was JJ as big at the time? I'm trying to remember what
yeah, I mean, he's coming off of, I think at that point, one of the Star Treks, maybe?
Was that 2009 that the Star Trek came out?
Yeah, one of the Star Treks, definitely Mission Impossible, definitely Lost, Alias.
Yeah.
I mean, his name was out there already.
Yeah.
Cloverfield.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was a big name.
Yeah.
And I think this was the start of like this nostalgic, going back to this specific late 70s, 80s time period where now it's so common.
Yeah.
But this was like the first of that.
Well, and that's the thing with like nostalgia. You've got to separate yourself from the time period long enough to where it becomes cool.
Right.
Enough to where you forget about the bad stuff that happened during that era, and you remember the good stuff, and you start like, you know, kind of digging it. But this movie for me is even more nostalgic because the kids in the movie that was me at that time. So Joe Lamb was 13, I think, in the film at that time period, and I was 13 as well. And this movie just really checks all the boxes for me because that's got the nostalgia of the 70s because I was a 70s kid. Joe Lamb was, you know, like building models. I mean, his room,
Right.
his room looked like my room with
Yeah.
the paints and the kits and everything. And me and my friends, we made, we didn't do Super 8 movies because by the time we started doing movies, which was more in high school,
Mm-hmm.
that's when the VHS sort of, cameras, came on the scene. So we didn't dive into the Super 8, which we probably could have, but we just didn't. But we definitely did films. We did a major events in U.S. histories in high school. It was what was the name of it? I can't remember. I have it on VHS. I'll have to find it. But we did scenes from historical events in U.S. history, like
Oh, that's cool.
like the ride of Paul Revere and discovering gold and the writing of the Declaration of Independence. Just little vignettes. And it was super cheesy. Obviously, we're in high school.
Right.
We didn't have fancy sets or costumes or anything, but it was just kind of kid fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Same thing here. I mean, I was a kid in the 80s, but like an older in the 90s. But one of the things that drew me to this film was just the idea that these kids are getting together and making movies, because that's exactly what me and my friends did.
Yeah.
And we did the same thing. I think it started off with we were making like wrestling videos, backyard wrestling videos. And then we did like some detective, almost like a Starsky and Hutch type movies.
Yeah.
We did a lot of kung fu movies, which were fun. We would even do we'd go back and record like our voices.
Uh-huh.
So it was a dubbed,
Nice.
dubbed over version. And we'd do the sound effects too. So like all the Foley things.
So basically you had the recording on VHS.
Yes.
And then you ran that.
No, we filmed ours, like all our fights, all our scenes.
Right.
And then we went back and then added the voice and the sound effects.
Right. So but in doing that, you basically had 2 VCRs, right? And you played the tape.
No.
And then when you recorded to the second, you had microphones plugged in.
By
How did
this
you do
time, what did we have? It wasn't that.
it? Yeah.
Although I did do videos with other people that did have that whole process with the 2 VCRs. This was it was some sort of like little device that we got from Best Buy
Okay.
that allowed that. We plugged it into the computer, so I had a VCR plugged into that and then the computer. So
Okay.
it was so hard to edit videos. Now it's so easy, but
Yeah, the way we did it, we had one VCR and we put the tape in of what we recorded, and then ran it into a second VCR, and basically hit play and let the one play, but with microphones plugged into it. So we would talk,
that's good.
add music or whatever, and then we had that when we have that cut, and
Yeah.
then from there, if we wanted to change it or edit it any further, we had to go from that tape back into into a VCR again. So the quality of it was horrible.
Yeah.
You know, it's like recorded like 3-4 times over. It was awful.
Yeah,
But it
that's
was
cool.
still cool though.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We did all like the sound effects. You know, how Kung Fu movies has a weird sound when people get punched.
Yeah.
I can remember my friend, he got all his he had like a pet rat, so he had like rat bedding,
Yeah.
and we were just like hitting. It was like a full package, but as we were recording that sound, we were
Yeah.
hitting it, it just exploded,
Yeah.
and he had that stuff all over his room because we were just trying to capture
Wait, the rat
sound.
bedding? What, like the rat? Like
Yeah,
the
like
sawdust and
yeah,
stuff? Oh,
yeah,
man.
something like that.
That's just gross.
Well, it was clean. It was on the
Oh.
package. But as we were hitting the
I
package,
thought you said you pulled something out of the rat's cage.
No.
and were
It was
smacking
clean.
It,
It was like
okay.
stuff he had just on, to use later. And as we were hitting it, the package burst open and it was all over the place.
Oh, okay.
But,
God, I just remember we did all these scenes, of historical events, and then one of the guys that we had on our team was like the music guy. Like, I want to do the music. I want to do the sound, the music, and he kept bugging us. Okay, you do that. You do the music. So when it came around to doing the, to lay the tracks for the music, for the background and stuff, all he did was he just grabbed like punk indie music. I'm just like, what's this? This isn't, his story,
Right.
and then we kind of panicked. At least I panicked because I really cared about the thing, and these guys were just, goofing off mostly.
Yeah.
So I went to my grandma's house and went through her records, and she had like a record of like, America the Beautiful. It was like, big band, like
Yeah.
marching band music with like the Star Spangled Banner and, America the Beautiful and stuff. And then she had the soundtrack from Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. So I just grabbed those and mixed those in. It was perfect.
Nice.
And of course, the guys thought it was stupid. I'm like, no, it's a U.S. history.
Let's go back
it's
to our punk rock.
Yeah, so
that's great. Yeah. So this movie had a lot of things that both of us, we were just like, we've talked before on the podcast that our taste in movies kind of do branch out, but this is one of those things where, like, for both of us, it was like
everything
hits everything.
Yeah.
And we love it. So
you got movie making, you got Spielberg, you got sci-fi, you got monsters. What more can you ask for?
Yeah,
it's great.
That was one thing I was reading up on, just how this movie came to be. And actually, it's so weird that the first idea that J.J. Abrams had for a movie. And it's funny how these things work, because sometimes I think like this, like it'd be cool just to have a scene that does this. And the scene was, he goes, I just want, I think, a scene where you're in a factory and that sign that says like so many days without an accident, and then it gets changed to 0. He says, I want a movie with that scene in it. And so
he does that though, right?
Yeah.
He just thinks of like really cool scenes and then works them.
Right.
Yeah.
And then then he's like, okay, so I want that scene. He says, but obviously can't make a movie about that. And then he says, okay, well, I also want to do a movie about kids making a movie. Okay, great. He says, I also have this other idea about an alien invasion movie.
Yeah.
And then I think the alien invasion movie was supposed to be like the sequel to Cloverfield. Like that alien part. That's why the aliens, that the end alien, what was his name? The alien's name in the movie.
What, Cloverfield or?
No, in this one. He has a name.
He has a name?
He does. I'm pretty sure, doesn't he? Anyways.
I don't remember him having a name.
They look very similar.
Oh, okay.
Between that Cloverfield, but then they decided not to be a Cloverfield sequel and just combined his two ideas of the kids making a movie and alien invasion.
Aliens and monsters.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the alien anyway?
So
the design of
that was my, if I was to nitpick about something about this, it'd be that. I don't know because I don't know if it was because he did look very similar to the Cloverfield monster. I just wasn't a fan of it.
Yeah, I don't think I saw him as being like anything other than the monster for this movie. There's not really a monster. He's an alien. He's a creature. He was all right. Yeah.
And that was another thing. He definitely looks like a creature, but he's supposed to be an intelligent life form.
Yeah, I always thought that's weird. It's like, how can you like assemble parts and electronics with those big hands, monster hands?
And, just navigate space.
Right? And aliens,
any alien movie you watch with any alien creature, the fact that they can get here to our planet tells us they are far superior than we will ever be.
Yeah. So yeah, they're always so weird looking.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it was okay. It was all right.
Yeah.
But it's just, if I was to pick like my one negative about this, it would be that. But however, what I love about this film, like so many movies relies on the monster, right? It relies on the look. It relies on what the monster does. This movie, I could go to the very end of the movie without ever seeing that monster.
Right, because it's really not about the monster.
Right.
The monster does the job. I mean, he is scary and he has a purpose and as to what's going on, but it's really about the kids.
It's about the kids. And like even just the beginning, you find out like, his mom dies, and not only just does the mom die, but it's a very tragic death. It's a very, quick or, sudden death. And, you're dealing with that, and that plays into relationship with his friends, with his, the girl, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it was his girlfriend, but, and the dad. It's just really good.
Yeah.
One of my favorite actors in this film is the guy that played the sheriff, Kyle Chandler.
Yeah.
And I say he's like one of my favorite. And that was another thing. Like this, again, this movie is like, he's in it, I'm in, because he's like in one of my favorite shows of all time, Friday Night Lights. And I just like that actor.
There was another show that he was in that was a series.
Yes.
I want to say Homefront. Is that right? Is that the name of it?
I don't know if it was home, but are you talking about the one where it was like he'd get the paper for the day for the next day?
I don't know.
He could tell the future.
I think it was like set in the 40s or something. Homefront? I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't remember.
But he had that big. It was some big TV show that he was known for. I can't think of it right now. But it was like he would get a newspaper from the future.
Okay.
And he would, like, every day, I think it would show up, and so he'd know the future and things like that.
Huh.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But his big show was Friday Night Lights. I will always know him as Coach Taylor from Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, he's great.
And but yeah, seeing him as a sheriff, you know, watching him and like being a dad, you know, now a single parent trying to figure that out. How do I relate to my son?
Yeah.
And how do I keep doing what I need to do?
He was so into his sheriffing and his duties and everything. He didn't really connect with his son too well.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The wife did.
The wife
now
did.
She's gone.
That too, like, I just think, you know, he's also grieving and he doesn't know how to grieve and be a dad at the same time. But I just, there's just, it's not a simple monster movie. There's so much, you know, layers to this. And then you got the almost like the Romeo and Juliet type thing with the two dads like stay away from each other. And they're like, well, they're not going to stay away from each other.
Yeah.
That's already set in stone.
Now the girl's dad, what was her? I don't think I've seen him in anything other than this movie. Do you recognize him?
Yes. He's a good character actor. I've seen him in some other things. He's in the movie is it Deep Impact? Yes, it is Deep Impact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Comet movie. And he's one of the astronauts.
Yeah, I don't remember him though.
He's like the leader of the team. He gets blind. He ends up getting blind.
Yeah.
There's another actor that he gets confused for a lot. I think his name's the actor that he gets confused for. I think is Edward Burns. Or is he Edward Burns? That would be bad. No, he's not Edward Burns. But yes.
But he was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about those kids making a movie. Because we kind of already talked about a little bit how we used to do it too when we were kids.
Not just any movie. They're making a zombie movie.
Zombie movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great. And that's so cool because it's like they obviously in that time period they just got done watching like Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
And they're all jazzed. No, how they're inspired to make something.
Yeah.
That, which is like totally cool because that's exactly how we were.
Yeah.
We watch something and we become inspired and we want to make it.
Well, it's like people today doing all the Star Wars tribute stuff. It's like, just come up with your own story. It's like, no, because you got jazzed about something you just saw. So you want to make, something similar. Yeah.
That was cool too. The whole, like Charles, the director.
Yeah.
You know, he truly was a good director. Like he truly was looking out for things. He's like, look, let me borrow that model. It'd be cool to blow up.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like he can communicate really well, but he had the vision of what he wanted his zombie film to be.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed all those kids. I mean, those kids made this movie and
and I connected with Joe a lot because of, who he was and making the models and doing the special effects and stuff. But even Charles, I connected with him and in doing films with my friends, I was never really like the leader of the bunch or like, was anybody that was really outspoken. But when it came to shooting scenes and putting it together, I'd be given direction. It's like, come on, guys, no, do it this way,
Right.
and he's talking to Alice, did you read the script? I really want you to do this. And he's like, yeah. We read the script. It's like, geez, man, I'm just directing,
You're right. Like, that's my job.
I'm directing, I was like, yeah.
It's because that's the thing about like when you have a baby, like when you create something, he doesn't, people could think like, oh, he's pushy or bossy. It's like, no, this is my thing.
Yeah.
And I want it to go the way I want it to go.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's room for collaboration, but for the most part, it's like, no, I need to make sure that this happens.
Yeah.
And that's why I like Charles. He's perfect cast for that. He acted perfectly.
Yeah.
just even with the whole idea, like, oh, I forgot what the scene was when he's just like, oh, when the dad takes the camera, or he says, yeah, sir, Mr. Sheriff Lamb, like, that's your camera, but that's my film.
Technically, that's my film.
That's my film.
Yeah.
Don't lose my film.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Carrie, because I connect with him too.
Oh yeah, he was the fireworks guy.
Yeah,
right?
fireworks, blowing stuff up. Yeah,
the pyrotechnic.
Yeah, yeah. I tell you, this movie just checks all the boxes: blowing stuff up, making movies, monsters. Yeah, models, yeah.
And they're just looking for cool places to film.
Yeah,
and then the whole gory, because man, those late 70s horror movies were.
Yeah,
they were super gory, like beyond gory.
Yeah,
and I love how they played into that, and the eyes on the zombie.
So what do you think the kids used for the eyes? I know they probably enhanced it for the movie, but like
something physical.
What would they have used?
I think just caps, maybe.
Just caps?
I don't know.
Like maybe like cut pieces of like a ping pong ball or something.
Yeah, because I know he couldn't see, right? Didn't he say like I can't see?
Yeah.
So you just have to like act it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the blood and the nail.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Yeah.
But again, that's only half of this movie is what this movie's about, but yet it was really good. And and then going into one of the coolest scenes probably ever filmed or ever done was the train scene.
Man.
They're sitting there, they're filming, they all snuck out of their house. They're all scared. Like, we can't ever get caught.
Yeah. Alice shows up in her dad's car. She doesn't have a license.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is already after they were told, like, you cannot see each other. Don't be near each other. And then doesn't she say, like, oh, this is the sheriff's son. He's going to rat us out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. He's like, I'm not.
You can trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And the whole, that seeing that train just blow up everywhere.
I really didn't take a deep dive into that scene yet. I'm still just reeling over the movie. But what was that? I mean, how much of that was there miniature, CG?
Oh, I don't think any. I'm pretty sure all that was CG.
Probably all CG, right?
Yeah. But I just like the idea, like they're filming, and just that idea that, like, what's that one small little thing that takes his attention away from the movie? He notices the truck. He sees the truck take a weird turn.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden he realizes, oh my gosh, they're going to crash.
Yeah.
And then boom.
Yeah.
And then how that guy didn't get destroyed, the doctor, is beyond me.
Yeah. I did think it was odd that his seat was basically cut in half, like in a nice straight line.
There should be nothing left of that man.
Yeah. He should be just pieces.
Right.
But maybe he just hit just right. He made a quick turn to the left a little bit.
Oh, maybe.
Just enough to derail the train. And
right. And then even that, like, again, that could be a movie in itself where the kids just witness a train crash. And then as they're trying to, like, just them all screaming and yelling, like, oh my God, we're going to die.
Yeah. You know what I did is I watched the movie the last time I watched it with the captioning on.
Oh.
And there's a lot of funny lines in the movie throughout that you miss because every moment in the movie is kind of chaotic. Oh, the monster's coming. Oh, the fire. Oh, and then the police are like getting together and, they're trying, or the sheriff department, and they're, barking orders at each other and going crazy. And there's some really funny lines in that you miss because everybody's kind of talking over each other. Like what was the sheriff came through and asked a guy to get the de-scrambler for the ham radio, something. And he's like, can you get that together? Right. And the guy says, no, just like, it's like just funny stuff that was in it that you just miss. And like some of the dialogue with the kids.
Yeah, because
really funny.
Because the town was there's just like a small town, right?
Yeah.
Like a Jaws, like a,
yeah.
And before we go any further, like that's exactly what this movie is. It was J.J. Abrams, who grew up watching Spielberg movies, who probably said, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And then when he was in a position to make his first original movie, I think, pretty sure it's his first #1 original movie, he just wanted to make like a love letter to Spielberg. Like, thank you. And so you've got all these elements of like I want to make a Spielberg movie, and he made it. And so all the sheriffs in the town remind me of Jaws a lot.
Yeah.
And they're not ready for any of it.
Right.
They're just like, no, we're here for the missing dog or the missing cat.
Yeah.
Or so and so got drunk and I have to drive him home again.
Yeah.
That's like their work.
And now we got microwaves missing, and
right.
It must be the Soviets.
It must be the Soviets. Yeah. That's such a great line.
I love it. And the guy, they have the town meeting, and the guy pops up. I've been hearing some strange things on my ham radio, right. And you hear the all groaning. That was so good.
This guy
on his ham radio.
Right.
I don't want to hear it. Yeah, just so many good moments like that.
Like, in this movie. I need to see you right now.
Yeah.
And another just crazy scene was when, well, not crazy scene, but just the idea of the government comes in because they knew what they had and what was lost.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to fake a fire.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
gotta get people out of town. Oh,
so we're gonna fire.
Sorry, guys. There's a wildfire. You guys had to evacuate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. You got yourselves an alien running around, don't you?
Yeah. But all the characters are great.
Mm-hmm.
Like Donnie, the camera store kid.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one who's like, hey, can you give me your sister's number or something like that?
Yeah, yeah. Not the dorky one, the hot one. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that guy.
Yeah. He drives him to the school when they're trying to save Alice, and he gets stoned in the parking lot. What's the guy's name? The kid that vomits all the time. That guy was hilarious. Oh, Smartin.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Donnie's all stoned out. Martin's like, "Oh, drugs are so bad."
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Like getting that teacher's like area where he's confiscated all those things, and
yeah,
that was good.
Yeah. I really like the kids in general, all of them, and their unique characteristics. Smartin, when he gets spooked, he vomits. But I really liked how when Alice joins the group, reluctantly. And I love the scene when they're in the diner and they're sitting down, after the whole event and just talking about it and just goofing around. And you can see how she's kind of starting to kind of warm up to the guys,
mm-hmm.
And it's almost like, she was a loner, her dad's a drunk, doesn't have any friends, or didn't seem to have any friends. But you can kind of tell, when she starts to enjoy the company of these guys and kind of belonging to a group, or being
mm-hmm.
part of something, I thought was really really neat. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's like finding like good friends. It's like,
it's interesting you say that, because I always thought Alice was like the impossible girl to get.
Yeah,
I didn't think that she was the loner. Yeah, she had that dad that was a drunk, but I know when I just thought like it was one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, she's like the popular girl. And when Charles asked her, like, hey, you want to be in my movie? She just says yes, because she's probably just wants an escape from her life.
Yeah, I could see that, but she always seemed like she was reluctant. Like even when Joe would call her on the phone and say, hey, we got some new scenes, she'd say no, I don't really want to do it. I kind of saw her more as somebody that was a little more, introverted and kind of,
well, that was
maybe kind of ashamed of her, her home and dad, and just kind of kept to herself. I mean, that's kind of how I
did she say no after the train crash?
Yeah, well,
that was probably like, I'm out. Like, I risked like leaving my house with my dad's car,
yeah.
And for some reason the car was perfect.
Yeah, I didn't get yeah,
nothing. But yeah, I mean, but to your point, like, I do like the idea that she did come around, because she was the outsider of that mm-hmm. friendship, of that friend group. And, she could have looked at them and just like, oh, these guys are a bunch of nerds, and, pathetic. But she eventually like came around, and became one of the crew.
Yeah, because they were definitely the nerdy, kids.
Yeah, and both Charles and Joe both were in love with her.
Yeah, and Joe says, yeah, I make models. And was it Martin or Carrie says, oh, you're actually going to admit that?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Which he made models of trains, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he made models of a lot of things. But
Yeah.
With the one train, he was excited. And then he talked about the different colors of gray, right?
Oh, yeah. There's like 14 different shades.
Right.
Euro gray. Yeah. Dry burst technique.
And again, only someone who knows that.
Yeah.
Someone who's like, does those models would know that, oh, yeah, that's a true thing.
Yeah.
There's 14 shades of gray.
Yeah. I spent most of my time in my bedroom building models as a kid. Yeah.
But you have that really super cool model, which we should show a picture of that.
Which one?
The spaceship.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
You made that.
And I still have it. I still have it.
Like that was a model that doesn't exist. You just kit bashed a bunch of things, right?
Yeah.
And you made the model.
And it's Star Wars inspired.
Star Wars inspired.
Yeah, kind of a,
But doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
We need to show a picture of that.
Thing I was, nerdy kid, scared of the girls, thinking, it'd be cool if a girl would think this stuff's cool, And actually, I married a girl that thought my models were cool. That's kind of how we met, which is actually kind of cool.
Like just the model shop, or just like?
No, it was a church field trip.
Oh, okay.
To the Museum of Science and Industry. And in the upper floors, they had a giant model railroad layout. And so Heidi, my wife at the time, we barely even knew each other, and because she came along for the ride for the trip, and I was like, everybody else was goofing around in the youth group, and I really wanted to go see the model trains. And I'm like, I want to go see the trains. Anybody want to go? And Heidi's like, yeah, I want to go. I'll go. So we went together to go see the model trains and the model train layout, which was like a connection there.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was super cool. So that's kind of like how we met.
Nice.
So we met over model trains.
Model trains.
Model trains. Yeah.
Dang, model trains does it every time.
I know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I started thinking of like, what's the deeper theme in this movie? And there is a deeper theme in this film that even just J.J. Abrams, he intended it for it to be in there. However, I never understood it. So it's the whole idea, from what I've read and what I've heard JJ say, is that this movie truly is a movie about letting go. And, it starts with the death of that kid's mom and him having to deal with it and process it. And, but not just him, but, his friends and, the dad. But he has that necklace.
Yeah, the locket.
Yeah. So that was one thing like I never understood about this movie, is at the end when all the metals getting attracted to the water tank for the ship, the necklace.
Yeah.
And I just didn't understand like why he let that go. Like, what did that signify? What did that mean? I don't know. I always had a hard time with that, but like you could have held on to the necklace, man.
You could have held on.
You're not going to get rid of that. Like, what did that mean? Like, why did you have to let that go?
I don't know.
What was the significance behind it?
Well, and the dad too. The dad had this, serious grudge, anger towards Alice's dad. I mean, deservedly so. He missed his shift. Wife steps in. She gets killed.
Yeah.
But, toward the end there, when he's finally, he just, he said, when they're driving the Jeep back to get the kids, it's like, no, it was an accident,
Yeah, it wasn't. But I think the one thing that it was, even though it was an accident, I think Alice's dad was just that guy, that was always it was eventually like, you're going to cause somebody to get hurt.
Yeah, but it's
like we always know like that person, like, man, just stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it finally like it happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
He was always like really kind of like, his life. It seemed like he was self-aware of his of who he was, and was just really apologetic too. Like, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen,
My guess is that guy was a mess, and then when that happened, it made him even worse.
Yeah.
Because he definitely knew the gravity of what he did.
Yeah. Well, even in the beginning of the movie, in the very beginning, when he shows up to the service, or what after the funeral, the memorial service at the house, not a service, but I guess a get together, whatever. I mean, he shows up because you really feel like he's like, you kind of can sense that I really screwed up, and the right thing to do would be to come anyway and to make a showing.
Right.
Maybe he may have even planned a speech, like not a speech, but wanted to
something.
Apologize even more.
Yeah.
And of course he screwed up and showed up drunk, which it just ends up back in the cop car again.
Probably was, he needed to drink all that because he was so nervous about going.
But he knew he probably should go.
Spiral,
Yeah. But then in that moment, and when that they both kind of realized, or at least Joe's dad realized that I got to let this go too.
Right.
I got to let it go. It was an accident. We need to move on. We need to connect with our kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or at least, appreciate. Because the whole thing is just like, you're wasting your time making these monster movies. I want to send you to sports camp.
Yeah.
Which basically it was more or less, he wanted him out so that he can be home, probably grieve and, figure things out.
It's
didn't want to be responsible.
Yeah, it's like I can't do the dad thing right now. I got a town that's out of control. I need a break. And then in that scene, it just shows how out of touch he was with his son, who doesn't have any interest in sports.
Right?
Like, go to sports camp. Baseball. What's a baseball, Dad? It's like, yeah.
But again, just the whole idea of letting go, like, it just, I don't know. I didn't get that message.
Why did Joe have to let go?
Why did he have to let go? And getting personal here, speaking to someone who lost his mom at around that age, like I would not hold on to that necklace. Like I wouldn't feel it was necessary to let go of a necklace. Like this whole time the character wasn't about, like, he wasn't bringing up, well, hey guys, let me tell you about my dead mom. And no, people aren't just like, oh man, let this go. Like, it was
maybe did he have to let go to connect with his dad? Maybe it's like, maybe
I don't know.
Maybe he's looking for parental strength and an emotional connection. He wanted to kind of keep that going with what he had with his mom. So
maybe.
It's like for me to connect with my dad and really get to know my dad, and to I need to let mom go and connect with dad. Maybe.
I mean, I like that. I like that you say that.
It kind of works. Go with that. It works, right?
Yeah.
Dad's finally reaching out. He's giving me a big old hug. He says, "I got you." And it's like, okay, let's let mom go. Let's connect with dad now.
Right.
Maybe give him a chance.
Yeah.
That's it. Is that it?
I guess that's it. I'll go with it.
Did we just figure it out?
We just figured it out.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let go of that necklace, son.
Right. What it which just kind of goes to show you that it was a cheap one too, because it must have had some sort of ferrous metals
right.
enough to be attracted by magnets, right? It wasn't brass or silver, or
Good film.
It's a great movie.
All right. Well, let's get into the trivia battle.
Let's do this thing.
Trivia battle.
Oh, Jiminy Christmas. So, as the current champion and not owner of the Duke, I get to choose who goes first.
I'm going to put the Duke out here. I'm going to put it on.
I am going to
center it up.
Let you. Why are we going to center it up? No, you have it right now.
Okay, I have it already.
Yes,
okay.
it's yours.
This side of the
okay. Let me just not have it for the next 5 minutes.
Okay.
You're going to go first.
All right.
So here we go.
All right. First question. How many days had Lillian Steele gone without an accident before the incident with Joe's mom?
784.
That is correct. All right.
Did you know that? Would you have known that had you not watched the movie last night?
No, because I figured that would probably be one of the number one,
yeah.
like, because it's on the sign. It's
there.
It's a moment. That's so
Got
I figure that was going to be a given.
I would have thought that too. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. How many times do we see Carrie die as a zombie throughout the film?
Oh, wow.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 5.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's 2 in the movie itself, and then there's 3
At the
at the end. Yeah.
When you say the end, you're talking about the credit?
Credits.
The credit.
Or they show the movie.
Oh, yeah. That was great.
Yeah.
That was great. I wasn't when watching the movie in the theater and blown away by it, and then they threw that in their finished film at the end of the credits was just
I guess
gold.
they
Gold.
did that.
yeah.
Like JJ said, okay, you guys are responsible for making this movie. And I guess the kids actually just did it.
Did they? No.
Yeah.
They had to have been directed like what scenes to do, right? No.
Well, they knew to make a zombie movie, but it was them filming. It was them acting. Well, obviously
okay.
acting, but
yeah.
it was,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. But that was cool. That was good though. It was awesome.
Next question.
All right.
While waiting to be picked up by Alice, what candy does Joe throw at Martin?
It was Twizzlers.
Yes, he throws a Twizzler.
Twizzler, yeah.
Okay.
But and Martin's like, was it a rock?
He says, no, it was a Twizzler.
Was it Twizzlers? See, and that was something I caught with the caption on because
Okay.
I never heard what Martin said. I remember he said blah, 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 something, right?
Yeah.
But in the caption it says, "Was that a rock?" And I laughed because I thought, okay, it's funny. Martin, man.
Okay, next question. What is the name of Joe's dog? For Michael.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question though. You know it, huh?
I know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it is Sabretooth.
No, it is not Sabretooth. Go for the steal?
The Steel, Lucy.
That is correct.
Mm.
All right.
Actually, I did know that it was a girl's name. I just couldn't figure it out.
Mm.
Okay, now this is a tough one.
Okay.
What period did Charles have biology with Dr. Woodward?
Oh, wait, is this my question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 4th period.
Yep, that's it. Fourth Charles Kasnick, fourth period. Okay. Next question. What poster does the cube that Joe took home blast through?
Oh, man. Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
No. Come on.
It's not in the realm of impossibility.
Okay, what is it?
It's the space shuttle.
Yes, it's a poster of the interior of the space shuttle.
Oh,
No, somebody had a Halloween poster.
I would not have guessed that.
Halloween poster.
It was
in
a
their room.
okay.
But I think that was in Charles's room, not Joe's room. I think Charles had a
Yeah.
Halloween poster.
I'm pretty sure it's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre poster too. I remember seeing that.
It was probably in
prominent.
Charles's room,
Right.
Didn't
Okay.
the cube hit the TIE fighter on the way out when it went
Yes,
through
it does.
It hits the
was-
TIE
That was
fighter
almost a question.
Yeah.
and it spun. What's the name of that TIE fighter? That's the Darth Vader one. Is there a name? of that?
Interceptor.
Interceptor? Okay.
Maybe not.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, next question.
Wait, hang on. I'm gonna move this over a little bit. Here.
It's over.
Like he's checking his watch.
It's over.
He just wants it over now. All right.
Okay, while trapped in the knocked over bus, Joe gets on whose shoulders to break the glass?
Charles. No, Carrie. No, whatever. Just say no.
That is incorrect.
I would think he got on Martin's because he's the tallest.
He gets
Oh,
on
that's
Martin's.
right.
Yeah, he gets
Smartin.
on Martin's
Martin.
shoulders,
Martin. Stop calling me that.
and then he breaks the glass, and they get it. Okay, next question. What does Joe use as a light source after finding the tunnel made by the creature?
Oh, sparklers.
Yes, he uses sparklers. That is correct. Okay, here's my last question. Oh, wait.
You just take it, man. Just take it. It's all yours.
What is the name of the movie that Charles was making?
Oh, I know. What
What's
is
your
it?
question?
Oh, the case.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the case.
The case.
That's correct.
The
yeah,
case.
Yeah, I did know that.
yeah, so that's a blowout. Do you want my super hard questions?
Yeah, give me the hard ones.
Okay. What book was Charles returning to the library when he asked Alice to be in the movie?
Oh, wow. I don't know.
It was Codes and Ciphers.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, here's another one.
Okay.
What was the date of the alien incident that the kids witnessed on Dr. Woodward's film?
Oh, it was April 8th,
Yeah, that's correct.
1963.
It was April 8th. Wow.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. Because it was written on the thing.
Yeah, and he goes and he punches the
Yeah.
cassette player and he starts playing it. Okay, here's my last super hard one.
Okay.
What does Charles use to fix Martin's leg after the house they are in gets bombed?
Oh, your bone. There's a bone sticking out. He uses something to fix his leg?
He grabs something from the house. I haven't even done it yet.
Oh, man, I don't know.
He grabs a thing from the curtain. He tells one of the kids to grab that thing from the curtain.
I'm just thinking curtain rod, but I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't know what he grabbed.
No, that's what it is. A thing from the curtain.
Oh, a thing from the curtain. Okay.
A thing from the curtain?
That's the line. Yeah.
Grab that thing from the curtain.
Yes.
And so,
all right.
but it's a curtain rod.
No. It's like the thing that ties up the curtain.
Oh.
He uses that to tie up his leg.
Oh, like a.
So had you just said that thing from the curtain, that would have been an acceptable answer.
Even though I was just saying just a thing from the curtain.
You're really, yeah.
That's right.
Like when they go in the house
There
and
it is.
he grabs a Coke and starts drinking it. Martin's like, that's not yours. What are you thinking?
I'm thirsty. I'm in a war zone.
Yeah. Not to mention the tanks outside and the.
Right.
Yeah.
Which that was another cool thing, just like the idea that it's this whole battle that you only see it from the kid's perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's you're following them as they're dodging tanks and you never see the alien. But they're fighting the alien somehow.
And that whole scene was right out of a 1950s.
That's like War of the
monster
Worlds.
movie. Yeah.
Right.
You got the commander, the troop commander. That's out of control. We got misfiring.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like right out of a 1950s monster movie.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Okay. Well, final thoughts and what do you rank it?
Oh man,
Rate it.
Like I said, this movie checks all the boxes. All the boxes for me. The nostalgia, the time period, making models, making movies, sci-fi monsters. I think it's got bumped to my number one movie.
Over 20,000 Leagues, huh?
Well, it won't, even over Back to the Future. It'll switch.
Oh,
I'll probably watch
shoot.
Back to the Future and then it'll switch again. But for right now, it's on top. Again.
So should we put that poster behind you now?
I think I might. I think that poster's going on the wall for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah. No, I just love this movie. It's everything about it. It's great. Love it. It's a 10.
It's a 10.
It's a 10.
Okay.
It's a 10.
All right. For me, yes, I agree. Everything you said. However, it's not a 10 basically on creature design. And I don't know. So 9.8.
Okay, what if you were to design the creature for your monster guy, what would it have looked like? Like what should it
It
look like?
You see, that thing, you put that responsibility on me. It probably would have been less exciting. I don't know. Like I would have just been more traditional and did like
a gray.
Well,
kinda alien?
look. Either I would have made this a creature right? Not an alien. You know, maybe that was the whole thing. Like it would have been just some sort of creature they found that was the same premise, but it's a creature, and but not really intelligent. I don't know. Or it would have been
the whole story.
Or it would have been like an alien, more of what are we called, bipods?
Biped.
Not just more of like an alien person.
Yeah, like a gray.
That had to like
with a big head and big
because
eyes.
Yeah, like you could do this like it's a creature that escaped the train, and he's running amok in the town.
Yeah,
and he's just a creature. Or it could have been like an alien that is trying to get his ship back, which is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And they did the creature who is an alien trying to get his ship back.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think it's because he was more of a he was more monster-like rather than an intelligent, you know.
Or what we think is intelligent. Because he's definitely intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's got this ship that can be pieces and then get put back together again, and he can fly away.
Yeah, he's got the tech to do all that.
Right. And that he's just living in a hole. I don't know.
He's subterranean.
But however, this movie's got so much going for it that even to me, like this, like the part that I wasn't excited about and I wish would have been a little bit better, this movie still surpasses.
Yeah.
And that's for most of the movies. It doesn't ruin things. Little things don't bother me, but yeah, 9.8.
Okay.
Watch this movie probably at least once a year.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorites. Yeah. Super 8, man.
Super 8.
Yeah. I'll take the Duke. I won't make any excuses.
No, you have
as to why I have it.
No.
But whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys all for tuning in and listening to our take. And again, our little piece of history. The one and only movie we've ever seen in the theater. Probably will be the one and only movie we ever seen in the theater.
Probably because we don't really go to theaters much anymore, right?
So
much. Only if it's
that we share is Super 8. So yeah. Again, if you like what you heard, please like, subscribe. Takes only half a millisecond of your time and helps us out a great deal. So we appreciate it. And let us know, what do you think of Super 8? What did you think of the monster design? Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Jim? And
tell us what you think it should look like.
Yeah. All right. Later.